Good evening, everybody. It's Tuesday, April 28th, and I call this special meeting of the Tuxedo Union Free School District Board of Education to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, please do the roll call and quorum check.
Gary Hefner.
Here.
Susan Mitchell.
Here.
Bonnie Takuchi.
Here.
William Clark.
Here.
Bronwyn Rowntree.
Here.
Chris Scanlon.
Here.
John Michelle Tijerina.
Here.
Kaylee Donnelly. A quorum is present.
Thank you very much. Do I have an approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. There's a budget discussion to be continued, but based on the email we got just before the meeting, we're going to go to executive session first, but I do see that there are some people here. Does anybody wish to address the board? I think you see somebody. It's our own board member. Welcome, but state your name for the record anyway.
My name is Kaylee Donnelly. I'm speaking as ex officio school board member. I just wanted to update you guys on the form I sent out. I wasn't able to get out one for the elementary schoolers in time. It just requires a lot of synchronized movement as well as a reformatting of the entire form to make it palatable to the younger kids. I just haven't had a chance to get it out yet. But I did receive 45 responses from the high school students, which is a pretty good number, and middle school students. Since the last board meeting, I received many more responses from the high school students. So many students felt compelled to answer, and as I said before, I've received 45 responses so far. All the perspectives shared now are from new responses since the last board meeting. Many students wanted to share how volleyball and other sports, as well as Skyhawks, which is, I believe, an outside sports extracurricular, I had to ask my mom about that one, have helped them connect with people that otherwise they would not talk to. It helped them expand their horizons socially, learn to work in a team, communicate effectively, and get out their energy, as well, and a majority reported that it was an extremely enjoyable activity for them. Our service clubs like Student Council and our honor societies have helped students get involved with planning events, impact their school district, as well as learn leadership qualities that they would have had trouble kind of digesting without them. And our arts programs, including band, art plays, and art club, have taught kids a lot about themselves, how to help each other overcome problems, as well as figure things out for themselves. And they've helped provide safe spaces where children are able to explore interests, find achievement bettering themselves in their chosen field, and even find careers they could see themselves pursuing. Finally, our academic clubs, such as our ethics and chess clubs, have helped students connect with their teachers better, utilize critical thinking, and learn to debate effectively. These are all directly from student responses. This is how they have seen their clubs impact them. Quite a few students actually pleaded that clubs such as choir, the music program, and the music program as a whole, and Skyhawks would not be cut, but they had significant impact on them. As you vote tonight, I and the student body hope you will take this into consideration.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you very
Kaylee.
much.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that wishes to speak? Okay, I'm going to ask for a motion to go into an executive session to handle what I believe will be a quick item. And when we come back, I don't expect there to be action based on the executive. Oh, there may be action.
Maybe.
There may be. But regardless, whatever was supposed to be the discussion of the budget, we'll continue with that after executive session. Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so let's go upstairs. Hello again. It's 8:14. We're back from executive session. For the record, we were there to discuss proposed and pending litigation. Do I have a motion to return from an executive session?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We were just handed updated as of 4/20/26 budget, which is the last item on the agenda tonight. Anybody that came in late, does anybody want to speak? People that came in late? Okay, so the only final item on the agenda is going through this one last time to really, I would argue that we kept putting off some staffing questions, but how do you want to attack this?
Well, I have a question, which is, as we left it on Monday or Tuesday or whatever day it was, there were still some outstanding.
Saturday, I think.
It was
No, we
Tuesday.
talked
Oh,
about
you mean
Saturday.
before?
It was last Tuesday.
There were still some outstanding items that we were waiting for numbers from Jeff for possibilities, and I was just wondering if we had anything else for like potential savings or agreements that were reached, so that, curious to know if any of that materialized.
Well, the TTA proposal, you got an update on that from David. We have to go back with that one. And then the other items, we're still awaiting information from the various BOCES.
So no,
No update.
what about the administrative organization? Any updates on that?
No update yet.
So any other ideas how to attack this?
Why don't you-
Club athletic proposals?
Well, we want to just go in order then? I think a lot of
We
this,
should go through the whole list.
no, but just, I want to make sure there's no questions because this is the last shot. I think it's just staffing. The very first thing is staffing, admin. My concern on that, I'll start. My concern on that was with both principals leaving, there's a certain amount of their salaries with benefits that, obviously through attrition, I am concerned that we could burn up too much of that potential savings by spending too much money on whether we call them interims, substitutes, per diems. I'm just concerned that one, there are some savings to be made there. So I'd like to discuss limiting how much money's on that line to spend. And I spoke to some of you about conversations I had with David about that in worst case scenarios. But also one of the public concerns is that regardless of cutting HR last year, and we've cut so much admin already, and I don't think we're top heavy, but there is the perception that we're top heavy. And so if we could not backfill completely and right away, that would be something I think would benefit getting the budget passed. Additionally, we've had such a turnover over the past couple of years. I'm looking for, where's Jared? I don't want to insult Jared, but in terms of potential money savings, we're looking for like 2 Jennas to come in. And that might take a while to find someone who's bright and with a lot of potential, but because they're kind of new to the game, they're not costing us so much. And whatever process we do with an intern per diem or substitutes, we're kicking that can down the road for another year.
Jeff, does the way this is written bind us to an interim, or could we conduct a search while also keeping this as a possibility?
Well, obviously, we can do that, but we also, at some point we got to make a commitment to those folks because they have lives as well.
Right, so what's our time frame to
I can get something from them. I can't speak for them, but as I said, they're both highly experienced people and they have multiple talents, so I think they would serve the purpose well.
right, but do we have a month, 2 months? I know you can't.
Ooh, I
say
don't know if I'd do
exactly
that.
what
Yeah,
we're
I would say
generally
we should do it sooner than later. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should post for positions
Yeah,
tomorrow. Well,
Agreed.
figuratively, but
I agree.
post for these positions as soon as possible. See what comes in, days, weeks, months, whatever it is.
This
'Cause then we
is-
can make better decisions.
I think we want to think long-term as well.
Jeff, can you just explain one more time why your recommendation is to go with the 2 interims versus Gary's suggestion?
Well,
Well, my suggestion is can we save money? Should we and can we save money?
Well-
My suggestion isn't different. I'm cutting down to is this a place? We argued for hours and hours over chess club and safe and bath. This could be a savings of, in my mind, $100,000 to $150,000. So it's not what I think is best to have a person of experience. We can't afford it, a person with experience. And every month that we don't have anybody, much less a person of experience or a new person, which we could get lucky and find, are thousands and thousands of savings this year.
Okay, I guess taking money out of it then, can you please explain why in your opinion, the 2 interims would be a better fit for the school and the future of the school and the success of the kids than doing it the other way?
Well, we're in a major period of fluctuation right now. So I think, and the original plan when I arrived here was to have 3 administrators with multiple skills. So it was supposed to be 1 principal who could either have curriculum or HR or a PPS background, because we are a very small district, and we're not top heavy at all. We've got 4 administrators with a business official. So, and we did show a chart about what the structure looks like at other school districts back in August of '23. We showed what that looked like. So I just think that right now in this period of fluctuation that we're in, that experienced people would be very helpful to help us through the transitions.
Jeff, my concern is that we're envisioning 10-month contracts and, right, not 12-month contracts. So I believe that there's a way you had suggested to structure it so that there's never a period where there's nobody, but would having those 10-month contracts negatively impact the students?
No, they'll be here when the students are here.
Okay.
And
Isn't
it'll
there
be a
work over the
flexible.
summer that needs to be done?
Yeah, so it would be a flexible schedule that if we needed anybody for a week or 2 before the school started, that they would, take that time throughout the year, but there would be coverage from the other. These administrators we're getting for an unbelievably low price. They could make at least $100,000 extra, each of them. So,
Yeah, their value is not at an issue. My
Evident,
question is, how much should the 7 of us put into this line?
well,
Because can they do 9 months? Can they do 8.5 months in overlap? Can they do, I'm not sure, but that's the discussion that I'm trying to get here. It's not whether they're qualified or it would be great. The question is, can we have savings instead of having 20 months? I'm glad we're not at 24 months for 2 of them, but we're at 20 months. Can we do 19, 18, 17, 12?
Well, anywhere that we can save here on these administrative positions, we can save other things in the budget.
Right, and that was kind of my point. We spent so much time with the 1,000 here and 2,000 there.
Yeah.
100,000 here.
Would
you have
gets
to
us.
also be careful, because there's a point where you lowball the salary so much, you have the turnover.
Right.
People just come and go. So you're just perpetuating. So you say it's a long range plan, but if it's a low enough salary, they're going to get a year or 2 experience, they're going to leave.
Well,
which is
Well-
very
But that,
expensive.
I'll deal with that in a year when
Yeah.
if we get 2 more Jenna Parks in here and they
Yep.
in a year we say, hey, we like you.
I'm just saying that
we-
you're saying long term, but by the same token, you're saying, well, if we get a year or 2, then that's fine.
No.
But-
If we put out for these positions this week, and there's somebody that we like that's just got their certifications or even still working on it, but qualified, and they in 6 months we're like, this is awesome, then we offer them more to stay. That's what we haven't been doing.
I do think, though, Gary, that this is a period of tremendous upheaval, and it might be a time when it might not be the best time to introduce a brand new person into the mix. And the people that are, I don't know how much I can say, but that are being considered have histories and know the situation and would be able to come in kind of hitting the ground running, whereas a new person, there would be a learning period. And I don't know that this is the best moment to drop a new person into a learning situation. It might be better to sort of stabilize and then get the new person.
Well,
you'll have the same
I agree.
situation
You're gonna have- yeah.
in a year from now.
yes, it's
if
one
you-
thing that's guaranteed is we're going to get 2 new administrators. That's a guarantee. So, now you're just sort of kicking the can down the road.
Well, Gary just said he'll worry about that next year.
So,
Yeah, someone,
right, but
If we get to-
Kinda
if
contradicts.
you
We can't-
find somebody you
we can't
like,
afford we can't give the interim more money next year to stay. We can't afford that.
No, we
But
cannot.
a new person, if we get lucky, we can offer them more money to stay in a year.
But it would give us a whole year to find that just right person that would fit for the district,
I think
and we
that's
wouldn't.
a good point, right?
Right.
We would be doing a rushed search at this point.
But why wouldn't we want to consider it? We still have time to consider
you don't have to say yes.
Well, what would the savings be from the salary of the two 10-month interims to two full-time employees with benefits?
I don't know that there'd be much of a savings.
But you said there would be.
Yeah.
So where do you figure that?
We're getting the per day, if you work out what would be the interim salaries?
If you like it,
should-
we'll post it and see what comes in.
Right.
But my recommendation is, look, we don't have an HR, we don't have a technology, we don't have a cook manager, we have a brand new business official. I agree with the ladies. It's a very big time of transition, to have to transition two new people or one new person. It's a lot to handle, especially since what we're trying to do is get ready for the Tuxedo Reserve, the kids coming in. We have to develop a 5-year plan. We've got construction going on. So it's just so much you can handle of new people. I would recommend that you bring in highly experienced people, stabilize a little bit, and then take the time next year to do a full-blown search. That's my recommendation.
But my point is, we need to come up with a number I disagree with a lot of that.
Yes.
Yeah,
I disagree with all of it.
Sure, go
But the point here isn't that. The point is, this board has to figure out on this budget line how much we're willing to spend. If I had $1 million for 2 administrators, I would put that in there. So that's
Right.
not the argument.
So can we
The
wrap
argument is,
up
what can we
discussion on
afford?
this and come to a decision?
I'm sorry?
Can we wrap up discussion on this item and come to a decision?
Could I say something?
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Bonnie.
Could I say something?
go ahead, Bon.
We can hear you.
Okay, you had mentioned, Bronwyn had asked about some work being done over the summer, and you mentioned that one of these individuals or two might come in for a couple of weeks prior to the school year opening, which I think would be absolutely necessary. But then, since we have the requirement to have a principal in each building, how do you expect to cover that? Would we then have to, in order to make them whole with their commitment for the 180 days, would we then have to hire interim people at a per diem rate to cover the days that these two people are not going to be able to be there because they're coming in for 2 weeks of summer work?
No, I don't believe so, Bonnie. I mean, I can verify with council, but I don't think, because the students are out of the buildings.
Yeah, and remember I spoke to some of you.
No, but I
No,
think
she's
Bonnie's
talking about when they're
saying
back.
if they take, when the,
That's not my
so
question.
if they do 2 weeks, Bonnie, I think this is your
it.
question.
It's
tell me if I'm
it's
wrong.
10.5 months.
Yeah, if they do if they do 2 weeks in the summer and they have a 10-month contract, then they're gonna get an additional 2 weeks at some point when school is in session.
Yeah.
So then, Bonnie's asking, will we need to pay for a sub for that period of time when they are gone?
No, I must have misunderstood you, but what I was saying before, it'd be a flex schedule, so that if they work 2 weeks, then we would take the time during the year, but there would be the other person covering, so there would always be coverage.
So the other one would cover, but we would not need to hire a sub for the one
No,
who's gone?
nope.
Okay.
And
That was the
remember, we-
question, right, Bonnie?
But I thought that it is, but I thought that we couldn't do that. I thought that because when we were talking about a K-12 principal, we were told, no, you have to have a principal in each building. So if if these are the two principals and one of them is taking off the promised 2 weeks time, then how do we have two principals?
Well, the same way that when Jared takes a vacation, Jen is here, and vice versa. If they're sick or they have a vacation, we always pass also a resolution which says, in the absence of one, the other. That's a resolution that we pass. If there's any sort of student discipline issues or whatever, the elementary principal can serve as the high school principal for that day, and vice versa, or whatever the period is. But they take vacation, they get sick days as well. So this happens through the ordinary course of a school year anyway.
Anyway,
And some of you asked me to talk to David about this, and he said, we keep saying there has to be 2 principals, which is the rule, but he said districts can go months and months and months without a principal in every building, as long as they're honestly looking and interviewing people and trying to find the person with the right fit, that they can afford. And he said, when I asked the question, so even if there's available bodies, but because of our budgetary constraints, that would allow the state to inquire, but that would be a sufficient answer for the state to back off, for us not to have two principals immediately on September 1st or whatever. So we keep saying there has to be two principals, which is the rule, but obviously districts have missing principals all the time. And council confirmed that. And a couple of you had asked me to ask him that.
So what do we need to do to move on from this item?
I just want to I want a budget.
You want the number.
I want a number.
You want a number.
I think the attrition savings is approximately $400,000. I do not want to spend, we can always move money later, but I don't want to do that. I'm not saying that tongue in cheek. I want to fund that line for $200,000, so we have $200,000 of savings compared to this year's budget.
I think we should be posting the position immediately.
I think we should post the position, at least one of them.
Agreed.
It's an opportunity to grow organically and limit possible turnover.
Agreed.
I mean, somebody could leave next year, absolutely. And they could stay 2 years and leave as well.
I mean,
But,
how many administrators have we had turnover in the last 5 years?
4 in the elementary school, 2 in the high school. It's 6 in 5 years.
Okay.
So and it'll be a guarantee that if the interims will leave. It's just a matter of when.
Do we really, is that what we want to project? We want to have,
Absolutely
we
not.
want to
I
have
would like
interims?
Post at least one.
Agreed.
Well, post both, because you don't know
Okay.
what's walking in the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
And no one says you have to say yes to anybody.
So my proposal, I'll make a motion myself, actually, that budget line be $200,000, which would be the
I think
savings
that's a
of the
little-
same amount.
I think it's a little light.
We
don't
can
you
move,
think,
that's
Dan?
our goal. We can move money if we have to.
What would be the salary that you're posting?
Yeah,
Depends what we do. I don't know if if we're gonna hire one person, 0 persons, 2 people, try to cut the interns down to 8.5 months, overlapping. My point is that should be our goal, only to spend that amount next year. However we get there with new people, interns, per diems, whatever.
I would prefer to be driven by having qualified people
Yeah.
rather than an arbitrary number. And I think that the proposal for the people are, in my limited experience, they do seem quite qualified. And so I'm nervous about leaving a position vacant, particularly in a time of upheaval, while legally possible. I don't know that it's the right move for this district this year. Maybe that's something that happens next year, but I don't know. I'm fine with, I would keep this as it is.
So, because that is, our savings are, less than 100.
So what do we
And
need to do?
I might agree with that, but I think we could, in 6 weeks, we might have a dozen candidates.
We might,
But
and
I'm
I have
sa-
no problem posting it. Jeff,
Yeah.
would you have a
Okay,
problem
so then
posting it?
maybe we'll split it up into a little bit, try and get the number to where we're all somewhat
Why don't we
comfortable.
keep this number, post it, right? This is the fallback option.
Yeah.
Jeff can post it. We'll see if anything comes through. If anything comes through, and we could, like you said, if getting more money is an easier problem to deal with than trying to find
Agreed.
money
Yeah.
at the end of the day. So let's take the more conservative approach for now, and maybe we'll get more money. Maybe it'll work, and then we'll have more money, and then we can deal with that lovely eventuality if it comes to pass.
So leave the number and post both positions.
Yes,
Jeff,
I would be in favor of that.
I'm in favor of that.
Yeah, I would, well, my position is to go with these two folks. I think it's in the best interest of kids and safety, and that's what I think. If you want me to post it, I'll post it as well, but my recommendation stands.
If we're not comfortable with anybody that comes through the door, then,
I wouldn't recommend them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
I'd like
and
to at
they couldn't
least,
be hired if I didn't recommend them,
Yeah.
so.
yeah, sure. So, but the point is this is the time of the year when people are out shopping, correct? This is,
Yeah, usually
the
starts
window
around
is closing.
January,
Yeah, the window is closing.
Yeah, it is.
So let's see if there's anybody that, would consider us, and
Cool. We'll take a look.
we'll see what we have.
So we leave this
two
this the
positions,
same and
one
move on?
elementary,
Yep.
one secondary,
Yes.
and what's the dollar amount? 'Cause I have to do the full thing.
We'll figure that out. I think it's,
Oh, do we have to put a dollar amount in it?
We'll take a look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Commensurate with experience.
commensurate with experience.
So we don't need to talk about number 2, right? Or 3, or 4, or 5, or any of the sports. Gary, what's the next one, or what's the
Yeah, it was
next
just
one that
staffing. I
anybody wants
think,
to
I think
talk
it's all
about?
the way to guidance counselor. That was blank here, so
No,
That's
that's-
not under
I'm not
We've already-
It's
considering
not
any
on the
of that.
list, means it's not
Which
being
means it's not
considered.
there.
No, if there's
but it's on the
no,
list.
if
That's
there's
why
not
I
on
was-
the
no
list.
number in the final number column.
I know, but I don't know why it just wasn't taken out.
Because this was the original list.
This is the original.
So everyone, we're already at guidance counselor, still staying at 1.0, right?
Yep,
Yes.
All right, so then the next one is music, which is a big one for me. All the prior plans had music of all the students and parents that came here. Music was the number one issue. For the next couple of items, my concern is, and I've said this a million times, I know Spanish elementary is more of a niche position, but any cuts to anybody, whether it's a 7 to a 6 or a 1 to a 0.8 or a 2 to, like any cuts, just is more likely that person walks out the door. And with our luck, it seems they walk out the day before school, which is two problems. One, program is hurt, therefore the students are hurt. And then we have this rollover again of all these positions. So I don't think it's the dollar savings is not worth the risk. It's not worth people leaving and programs being cut, especially music. But I'll have the exact same argument for a few other things.
What have we decided on anything relating to music?
Well,
It's cutting it back to a 0.5.
Right.
I thought we talked about a 0.6 the last time.
Well, no, it was 4 or 5, and then you wanted a 6, but the problem with that is it includes benefits, and as we spoke to you about, we're looking to do a share with another school that's local, which has been something the board had mentioned to me. They'd like to share some staff, so that's one of the things we were looking at.
Was it one of the takeaways that you talked to them about the 0.4 there?
We actually, yeah, I think Jared's been playing phone tag with them over there, but I'd spoken to her. They're very interested.
At a 0.5.
Yeah.
I don't like 0.5 or 0.6. I'm at a 1.0.
So you want to scrap this altogether?
Yeah.
Is
I
that
mean,
something we voted on? How did we do that?
It's
Well-
kind of a consensus because it's the budget line. We've already
Yep.
approved the
Remember,
budget.
the budget's balanced right now, so anything we pull off this list throws it back out of balance.
but I heard the public. They want to keep the music program the way it is. They want to keep the plays going. I think we heard no less than 6 people supporting the music program, if not more than that. I think, it's come a long way in the last year with Mr. Johnson joining the team. I would agree with Gary. I would scratch this as well.
I'm also hearing it heavily from my own household.
Well, my understanding was that while of course some programming would be cut, most of the programming would remain. And I don't know if it's Jared or Jenna or who knows exactly like how it would work, but I heard, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but like one of the things that would be cut would be 4th grade vocal lessons. But there would still be music in the elementary school.
Yeah, I
Right?
mean,
So it wouldn't be as robust a program, but it would still be a robust program. And it was my understanding too, that the teachers are in agreement that this is a reasonable place to make a cut. And so it's a point of contact and connection between the administrators and the teachers. I would take the recommendation of the whole, of those bodies. I understand and respect the opinions of the people that spoke, and I get it, and I'm hopeful that everybody that looked at this did so with an eye to preserving programming as robustly as possible, and so I would take the recommendations of those two groups who are in agreement on this recommendation, and that to me is quite meaningful.
So what is your recommendation?
Keep it as it is.
0.5?
That's what it is on here. I wouldn't change it.
I agree with that.
Do you want to cover the benefits?
Can't at 0.5.
All right, so now,
Yeah.
in my opinion, the teacher's gonna leave. So then we're gonna have, then we're cutting the music program 25%, but when he walks out the door, we'll be cutting the music in half.
We don't know that he's going to walk out the door for sure. We don't know that,
It's a
True.
gamble.
And this is the position you'd be sharing with another school.
which is what we've been talking about. The school was talking, where both schools are small schools, and the board had suggested that we look into that, so we're looking into it.
Right.
I think the concern is that neither the schools are playing hot potato with the benefits.
Yeah, that's.
You won't get benefits at either school
I
at
know,
point
to the
five.
extent, I mean, maybe the employee doesn't want benefits. I have no idea. Maybe they
Oh.
get benefits through.
I
their
doubt
spouse.
that.
I mean, and a lot of times in families, you get you get benefits through one partner, not the other, even if both partners have access. I have no idea what this person's particular situation is, so I don't even know sort of how much of that is a consideration. But that is the wrinkle, is that it seems like both schools are saying not it when it comes to the benefits.
No, we didn't hear anything about them not wanting to pay benefits. That's not what we heard.
Oh,
We
okay.
heard that they're interested in it and they're willing to discuss it.
Okay.
So that it's just, we've been playing phone tag with them, but they are interested.
I agree, it could work out. I don't think it will, but it could work out. But I think we're agreeing to cut the music program. That's the bottom line. I disagree. I don't think we should cut the music program at all. If anything, I'd hire a third teacher in a couple of years.
Well, we don't want to wind up in a contingency budget.
Right.
That's the problem.
I agree.
What we're doing here is we're trying to do least impact. If this budget goes down two more times like it did this year, we're going to be in a world of hurt.
Yep.
Right, and so
That's
the
a
one
great
point that the
start.
public has, the one biggest point the public has told me is, don't cut music, but we're gonna say, please pass the budget, even though we didn't listen to the people who privately came to me and more than any other issue. We're saying, we're ignoring you, public, pass our budget anyway. I think that is crazy to think,
No, Gary,
all
I
those
think-
people.
I think what we're saying is, I understand and appreciate your feedback, but the professionals of the teachers and the administration have looked at the entire package and are trying to craft a package that overall impacts students the least. And there have to be some
Right.
programs, and I know that this is a program that is deeply important to a lot of people, and there's a way, hopefully, that the faculty and the administration will craft a response with a reduced position that doesn't impact students significantly. So I think that's how you respond to people. It's not like, oh, I ignored you. It's, we heard you, and we had to put it into context of the program overall. And that's, I mean, maybe people won't be persuaded, but
I-
I don't think people, if anybody is bored enough to watch all of these meetings, I don't think anybody could with a straight face say, you guys didn't take me seriously or tussle with these issues in a serious way.
I agree with some of your points. However, I've only been around for 10 years, and we're cutting lots of stuff, and we keep saying whenever we want to cut the program, we say the money's more important, and then whenever we don't want to cut the program, we say the opposite. It doesn't make sense. So my bottom line is, we have to stop relying on other people, meaning Mr. White and the administrators. The public elected the 7 of us to make these hard decisions. We take recommendations, but whatever happens, if programs are cut, it's us that did it. We should never say, but it was recommended to us. If programs are cut, if teachers leave, if there's turnovers, if budgets aren't passed, it is nobody's responsibility for those results, but the 6 of us sitting here, and Bonnie, I guess, Bonnie sitting here by the
Well,
computer.
that's 100% true, Gary. I agree, but I also place a lot of credence in expertise. And so when I'm dealing in an area where I'm not expert, I will, to the extent it's reasonable, at least listen closely to the experts. This is an area where I am not expert, right? I'm not expert in how to craft these decisions about what programs to preserve. And so to act responsibly, I mean, I'm not like I would do whatever anybody told me to do, but I'm listening to the guidance of the experts, and that will be my response. I don't think that that's shirking responsibility, and I'm not trying to put responsibility off on any other group. I'm just saying, in this situation, I personally will be guided by expertise.
My last 5 years on the board, I will just note that when the board relied on experts and I was the outlier, We ended up with outsourcing busing, which was a horrible mistake. We cut Spanish in the elementary school. It was a horrible mistake. We didn't care enough about staffing, and people have left year after year over and over. So every time I've relied on experts as being part of a board, but my personal opinion was an outlier, I've been burned 100% of the time. So my experience in the last 5 years is that. My concern for these isn't willy-nilly. It's based on being told, it'll all work out, trust this, it'll be different this time. All I can think of is the bus contract, Spanish, and the people that have left, the 5 administrators in the last, and how many teachers have left in the last X amount of years?
30.
Over
30?
30. Over 30.
30 teachers. I mean,
Well, staff and teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know that the privatizing the bus was a mistake. We don't know that. We don't have any data on that. We haven't, it was at the time.
was a huge
We'll
mistake.
look at,
We
we'll
don't-
look at
we don't
that
have data on
later
that.
on when
We
we
don't
have.
have data on that. And the elementary Spanish, as I mentioned to the board multiple times in public, that's an area that no one can find a teacher. They can't find the FLES program, Spanish teacher, you can't find one. So
we had one,
that's
right?
just who left. Yeah.
Right. We had one. That's my point. We had it. We didn't take care of staffing properly. They left. We've never recovered from that deficit. That's exactly my
How do you
point.
mean we didn't take care of them? They were hired, they were on the teacher's contract, they were on step and level. How did we not take care of them?
That's a whole other committee. We need
Walter,
to
I got a
find
quick
out why.
question for you.
We've
What-
had 36
what's a-
turnovers in the last 5
What's
years.
a benefits package for a teacher these days?
Depends on if it's individual or family.
It's
Depending on percentage of contribution, anywhere between 32 to 34,000. That's family. You're looking at individuals, 12,500 around. there.
okay. All right. So I don't know if you would be interested, but maybe we would offer to pay the benefits.
I don't think anybody's.
Okay, no one's, we're just more, at
I
the-
want it to be still 1.
you want it to be a 1.0 and,
People want to save the money, cut the music.
So-
That's all right.
Look, at a minimum, I'd want to do a 0.6 so they had benefits. That's just my,
yeah, that's kind of where I'm
and I
at.
think that gives us a
So-
better chance of keeping someone.
Well, why don't we wait until we see what we negotiate with the other district, the other school rather.
All right. Budget time.
Next item.
Elementary PE. The plan was to merge the kids, 2 classes in one.
Yes.
I think that's a great idea.
Nobody's concerned we're going to lose a teacher. Again, this board for months has talked about doing a study or surveys to why in the last handful of years, 30 teachers and 6 administrators have left.
I mean, aren't we definitely losing a teacher with this cut? We're cutting a part-time teacher,
Yes.
so we'll have one
It's a,
full-time.
Yes.
it's a
elementary.
0.6.
Yeah.
But
So you think the full-time person will leave because
I-
they're combining?
we're doubling. I don't know. That's my point. That's not the same as music as in any ways or means. But I want to make sure we discussed it at least. All right, that person's out, the sub, there's no gym that day, right?
Wouldn't it be
Well, don't you
covered
get a
by
sub?
No, we'd have a sub. Yeah, we'd have substitute teacher.
What does a sub do in gym?
Uh,
Does a gym teacher leave plans? Like what to do with the
they're,
kids?
they're supposed to, yeah.
Just curious.
They have units. Dale would say you're on that.
See, I would be more likely to cut
Subs
someone
don't
who's
know how to do the
already
units, though.
part-time because they're probably looking for
Yeah.
another job anyway.
And look for another job.
So I think this is a good decision, this one.
All right, move on.
Yeah.
Elementary teacher, I think, is a whole different thing.
That's attrition.
Right, but the tech teacher,
Hmm?
I think we
Cut
should
the-
cut the whole thing,
Cut what?
not just half, the whole,
Can't,
the whole one.
can't.
Why can't you? You have a certified person in technology
Well, then you'd
that
have
can
to be,
do
then you'd be cutting,
STEM 7 and
cutting a
7,
different
STEM 8.
position.
Can't the schedule be adjusted?
Well, I've discussed that. I prepared a boardgram, which I explained to you folks about. There were two different proposals. The administration stands by theirs, and I think that a part-time tech teacher would make the most sense.
But we could save, how much money would it be? We'd save 80,000, if we cut it completely, we'd save another 80,000.
$154,672 if you
elect
cut the whole position.
The two plans side by side, the plan where we cut the 0.5 still saves more in terms of FTE and in dollars. And again, we're trying to balance a budget. We're
That's
trying to
not,
avoid a contingency.
that's not true.
Well, that's, I don't know.
You took the
that's-
I don't know
Can
how you-
Walter,
I'm-
can Walter confirm these numbers? Because we have 3 different opinions now, and this is very confusing.
Yeah, we can do that because the question is, Jeff is recommending a 0.5 cut. I agree with Chris. I want to cut it completely. So Jeff saves $80,000. Our proposal would save, I
One-
think,
154.
154.
77 to 154.
yeah, I was gonna say 160, but a little bit less.
You've got to look at the plans in totality, and in totality, the administrative plan is a 424,356 savings, and the other plan is 416,200.
No, that's not.
Walter, how much
that's not
would
correct.
we save if we cut the entire tech position and used existing teachers to fill in the necessary gap?
Qualified teachers,
Yes, certified qualified
certified qualified teachers.
with benefits. No, if we don't fill that position, what do we save in both salary and benefits, ballpark? Okay, so 150. What did you say?
154.
All right, so the savings on here, but cutting it to half is 79.5. So it's another,
I'm still unclear.
Yeah, Jared, do you want to clarify that?
If the tech position is 0.5, you double it to get a total number.
I think talked about this at 2 meetings ago. The overall reduction in one plan was 2.9 FTEs. The plan Jeff is submitting is 3.6. So it depends on how you configure how you're filling the attrition positions.
right, I don't think anybody's adopting either plan. I'm not adopting any plan whole hog. I'm
No.
just trying to figure out line.
No,
We've
right.
been said we're going to go back to staffing line by line. I don't see why we don't agree to save $80,000 on this line. Not another $80,000 to a
You've got to
total savings of
balance
160.
all these reductions out.
I see the teacher plan saving 4.0 FTE.
That's not what their proposal said.
It is. I can walk you through it if you'd like. So some of the TTA numbers don't have the benefits included, so I found the differences between them. The PE that you listed is 52,713. The TTA listed 44,000. That's a difference of 8713. The 6th grade, you listed 93,695. The TTA had 82,000. That's a difference of 11,695.
Here's their plan, and here's their total. Total
Jeff,
net
let Chris-
savings,
let Chris finish first.
416,200.
Jeff, let Chris finish.
If I take the 0.6 PE at 52,713, the elementary teacher at 93,695, the full tech at 154,672, hold on. The other high school teacher, that's a misprint on the paper, at 137,575. I used your 0.5 for music, 6307. I added back 10 for a 0.1 for, I believe, is special ed, maybe. 0.1. they already had a 0.5, they'd moved from a 5 to a 6. So that total came to 491,692 compared to the administrator plan of 424, 356.
Why were the numbers different now as they were the last time we spoke about them?
Because the tech was not listed on the teacher's plan. The tech takes a full $154,000 off. So that's where the $77,000 difference is, approximately.
So if all the positions we're cutting, and some of them I don't agree to cut, we don't need a tech teacher, we could save all that extra money.
We could.
Well, we need one.
Well, we don't need that
We need-
position. It can be filled by current teachers.
Partially, yes.
We're talking about saving money, so. Jean-Michel, you want to save money, right?
Yeah.
Chris, can you run through one more time what you say you had 4.0?
0.6 PE, elementary, one FTE, 1 tech, so that's 2.6. 1 special ed, 3.6, and then 0.5 music versus 0.1, I think it's special ed, which is actually, so that's a 0.4 ed. So that brings it up to 4.
Yeah, I don't want to put any money in this line. I want to save the full 160.
154.
Sorry. 154. Thoughts? That's 2 people in favor of that.
So you're saying the proposal they gave, the numbers were wrong?
I'm saying that the benefits weren't included in their numbers.
In the proposal? So
They
if it
don't-
was missing?
They
if it
would,
was-
they would,
benefits was missing
I
from
don't think the
proposal?
TTA would know what those benefit numbers are. It's actually in that email as well. It says,
Oh, yeah,
this is-
they know their benefits.
this does not include benefits. I don't think they know the percentage of every person.
Obviously, it's going to vary.
I think the critical piece is the tech piece.
I personally find this very troubling, I have to say.
What's
That
troubling?
we have teachers and administrators not coming together as a team to agree with a plan, and that we're taking one side over another and trying to compare the two sides. This doesn't feel right to me at all.
How so? We have to be fiscally responsible. If Chris and I found ways to save money,
Right.
that's to discuss it.
But we have an administrative team that is making recommendations.
But we have a
And-
budget that we have to make sure that we are looking at properly
That's exactly
to
what we should
cut
be doing.
back as much as we possibly can. So
Without-
why
without
wouldn't-
affecting the
So why
program.
wouldn't we do that by trying to also protect the program at the same time? If you could juggle some teachers around and move them around and not lose teachers but save money, wouldn't you want to do that?
Maybe, maybe not. I mean, there is a segment of the community that wants to see, as they call it, right-sizing the district, because we don't have the number of students to support.
Oh, then we go back to the
electives that we
administrators
have.
again.
And then they're going to go back to the top-heavy administrators that they call for.
I'm not, I agree with a certain amount of that, but we've culled a lot in the past 2 years.
Let me ask you this, because we have a balanced budget. Is there something on here that you're looking to make up for, to add back to the budget, to cut here? I don't know. Is there a number we're trying to reach? Is there something that we're trying to?
I think we told the public we were ready to go. We spent months and we promised the public we'd go through line by line and cut everything we possibly could. This is just doing that. We kicked this can of staffing down the road a half dozen times, and that's why we're here
Well, to
tonight.
be fair, we have talked about this a fair
True.
amount, and we've heard from Jared and Jenna, and especially at the last meeting, we've heard a lot from them about the reasoning for, particularly from Jared, about the reasoning for the plan that was proposed. So we have not in fact kicked it down the road. It's just it's a complicated topic.
It is a complicated topic.
We have a balanced budget right now, so I'm just wondering, is there something we're looking to add? Is there a number we're trying to hit?
I'll find something that, I will find something to add back.
Yeah, it's easy to
my
add
propo-
back after
to be
everything we
cl-
took out.
To be clear, I have nothing in mind, but my proposal is to defund this line to zero to save the I almost said 160, the 154. We'll find somewhere to put that. If not in the fund balance, something else.
Oh, you could save all the clubs on the bottom, and then still have money left over.
With a stroke of a,
We
like,
don't-
boom,
we
all
don't need
done.
all the clubs.
Then we could put it towards fund balance.
Or there's plenty of places to
could
put
do
it.
that
That's a
too.
whole other topic.
Just kidding.
That's like,
It's in there. It's in there though, right? 1745
So if no one else agrees with my proposal, I'll,
costume
I
design.
agree.
right, so I want to defund this line.
Costume design we're doing.
I agree.
Anybody else agree?
I'll go along with it.
Bonnie,
I agree.
Jean-Michel?
I disagree.
strongly disagree based on the recommendations of the principals whose experience and expertise I take quite seriously.
Same, disagree.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that, calculating these things at the table here, we could certainly go back and recalculate all this, but we've looked at it already. We've gotten the proposal. I don't know what number we're trying to hit. We have a balanced budget. I'm not sure what we're trying to add back. If you had wanted us to look at this, we could have done it before the meeting tonight, but, we'd have to go back and consider whatever it is, new data that we got, other than the proposal that we were shown.
All right. So moving on, that item is now defunded. That line item is defunded. The next couple items,
So you want to add back staff?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
No, just
No.
not, he doesn't want to hire a .5.
yeah. We're actually removing more staff, theoretically.
yeah, I'm confused.
Jeff, the balance of covering all the things in the plan proposed, for example, the AIS position, the GGM, STEM in the classroom versus STEM GGM, everything's hindering on each position. So if you shift something, there's going to be impact.
A domino effect, right?
I think that's the problem is in this plan, we get to save some really important things like the AIS in the elementary school, which we've talked at great length about the need for a rigorous, robust AIS program in the elementary school. And so, Gary, to your point about are we trying to save money or are we trying to build program, I think this is one place where the $70,000 of savings comes at the cost of important programming, right? Because if we move this teacher, then we lose, Jared, is this correct, right? If we move this teacher to fill in this .5, then we would lose the ability to fully staff our elementary AIS.
Correct.
That's like,
Okay.
we can't.
That
do
is
That's
problematic.
really a big deal. It's a really big deal. So I would just recommend maybe that people reconsider a little bit the implications of this, and is $70,000 worth not being able to fully support the AIS program at the elementary school when we know that we need it?
Has the schedule actually been looked at to see if there are alternatives?
I think that's what Jared.
I think that's,
There's many alternatives for the certification areas. This proposal, one piece hinges on the next, for example. Staff mentioning that has a technology certification. If they're used for one class for that, that's 0.2 less than they can do in their certification area. So then you have to find that 0.2 from somebody else that's certified. So in Jeff's proposal of keeping the AIS intact, that's then, roughly 1.5 FTE that you have to then, account for elsewhere.
I mean, again, you have to go out, Gary, to your point about having to talk to constituents, you'd have to go out and tell families that you eliminated or curtailed AIS at GGM to save $70,000. I think you have some unhappy parents.
I think we can,
I think the scheduling can be.
Yeah, I think the
can be
schedule can be
worked
sorted
out.
out. I'm
Why
positive.
do we think that when the person who knows?
Yeah, I'm gonna start the default and, yeah.
I mean, how do we know? We don't know. We have a person that's worked on this telling us what they believe. In
So,
what universe do we have more information than they do?
So
Well, we should have the same information.
so Jared's
But
working.
not the same depth of understanding. This is their profession. We're volunteers.
So Jared's working on the master schedule. Jared, you're working on the master schedule.
No, we're looking at to do that, first and foremost, we have to look at
So who's working on the master schedule that could tell us, that would be able to tell us if this could work, if there are other alternatives?
Well, Jared could tell us, and he is telling us. He is capable of it. He knows how to do that, and he's telling you that now. And we're trying to
How much
protect-
experience
Well,
has
can I
Jared
finish?
had?
Can I finish?
You interrupted
Can I
me
finish?
before, so no, you can't finish.
yeah, come on.
So did Jared do the master schedule last year or any prior year?
Yes, he did it 2 years ago.
Jared did the master schedule 2 years ago
He did.
on his own?
He had assistance.
Was that the consultants?
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question?
Well, you're
Please.
interrupting Chris. Are you okay with her interrupting you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was done, actually.
Okay, so
But-
go
but-
ahead,
but
Bonnie.
thanks.
I'm confused. The way I read one of the plans was that the high school teacher who would be taking the 2 periods of technology would be replaced, or the duties to do special ed would be replaced by another high school teacher who also holds a special ed certification, although he's not used in that capacity now. So if those 2 high school teachers are sort of balancing each other out, how does that affect elementary AIS? I'm confused.
Again, as Jeff's reminded us many times, there can always be budget transfers. This should be our goal. Our goal should be to save money here.
I agree.
If it works out that after Jared or Jeff or anybody else and experts can't figure out the scheduling, which I think we can sort it out, but if we can't, we can move money and put it back in. But the goal should be defunding this.
Did Bonnie get her question answered?
Bonnie,
Yeah.
Jared, can
I
you
thought he
answer
was looking.
Bonnie's question?
I thought it was
Oh,
looking.
okay.
Yeah, I think it goes back to that domino effect. If in one plan, you're reducing who's delivering the guidance, and Jeff's plan keeps the people we have that are currently doing it. You replace them with a special ed position at the elementary school in a different way, which has a trickle-up effect to your certified special ed teachers in the high school. So, you're filling the AIS and special ed in with those sort of areas, which then leaves them unavailable for the tech piece.
Okay.
Depends on where you place the people.
I'm ready to move on.
What's that?
I said I'm ready to move on.
Moving on?
Yeah, I've had enough.
All right, moving on. Attrition, supplies, welfare fund. So then the question is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 9 programs at the bottom. What do people think about that? We'll talk about them separately or as a whole. Guest speakers, National Honor Society, Middle School Interact, Safe School Ambassador, chess/gaming club, and then positions surrounding the play and one of the plays themselves.
Well, there is a proposal with the TTA, and they've made a counter proposal, and we're just waiting to hear back from our attorney that may make some of those available, but we have to wait for that negotiation to bear itself out.
So do you want to prioritize these if we have money, or just worry about it later? Yeah, I don't,
I think when we added up this, it comes to like $20,000 for all.
I thought it was something like that, but
That's what you said last time.
Yeah, right. I mean, my calculator has been wrong.
This was close,
There's
though.
human operating error. But I know you can't tell us about ongoing negotiations, Jeff, but is that within the realm of possibility that we might realize?
Yes.
Okay. Then I guess if it's within the realm of possibility, I wouldn't even go through the exercise at this point of prioritizing them, because I think we can all agree that to different constituencies, all of these are important in different ways.
Agreed? Any discussion?
I agree.
Bonnie?
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. I'd like to save as many of those items as possible.
Agreed? Move on?
Yeah. Moving on.
All right, so still under consideration. Does anybody want to revisit any of those?
Talked about,
I think Jeff said we're waiting on answers to 2 and 3 and all of the BOCES lines.
Yes.
Oh, what's going on with possible additional state aid? Is there any update on that?
No, they don't have a budget yet. And I spoke last week to our legislator. He said if this was a baseball game, they're just getting warmed up on the field.
Jeff, is there an update on preschool registrations?
Yeah, Jen.
Bear with us. Jen is taking a look.
just for anybody watching at home, you know, we've turned over every rock that we possibly can, and that's why we're getting, you know, we're coming down to the end of this thing, and we appreciate the public's patience, and you know, this is it's been a lot on the staff, the teachers have given back, everybody in the school is given just about, you know, has given up something, just about everybody, and you know, it's been a lot of work to get to this point. So just please be patient, because you know, we're trying to do the best we can to preserve as much as possible, and at the same time, you know, give the taxpayers what they do deserve, which is a streamlined budget. So
And this is a really hard process,
Yeah.
and the fact that you're seeing us have these discussions
Yeah.
publicly and disagree with each other, but still respect each other's opinions, I think is important. We can have these hard discussions, and we want you to watch this process.
this really isn't for public view, and if it weren't for our attorney, you know, insisting that we have these conversations in public, you know, it's a lot more comfortable to have this behind closed doors. So this is the product of you know, democracy here. So thank you.
Yeah, ask what happened to student council for GGM? Student council
Disbanded?
was it disbanded?
No, student
For
council is
GGM,
not
Bonnie.
disbanded.
No, for GGM.
Okay.
GGM Student Council was approved this year, to my knowledge, and was budgeted for, and we did not have advisors who were interested in running that club, and so that club did not run this year.
Because
Thank you, Jen.
It shows 0 participants.
Right.
But
Because it
we
didn't
didn't have
run.
Right, we didn't have it.
It didn't run, no one should be filling out paperwork to be paid for that. That did not run.
Should we
Throw
keep
my
it
name
though?
on that.
What's that?
Should we keep it?
Keep it as a budget item, you're
As a
asking?
budget item.
If we have an advisor and we have participation, why not?
Jeff?
I can't project what the enrollment would be, the participation rather would be next year. It is something we can consider. Jenna, do you have any thoughts on that?
Can you repeat the question, sir? I was counting you, PK.
Oh, yeah, no problem. He wants to know if that's an area where we can cut, or whether you think that we should keep it.
Well, I'm always going to advocate for my GGM students and staff, but
Yes.
Do you think we'll have participation next year, Jenna, possibly?
well, I always hope so.
Okay.
I can't guarantee, and I'm happy to get a feel from the teachers and the staff and the students if that's what we're interested in, but I do feel that GGM club offerings are already particularly limited, and I would always advocate to keep more clubs for our students in GGM.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question? Any other questions on this sheet or
You were
anything?
doing the UPK number?
Yeah, so when it goes to registration, I think almost 2 weeks ago now, we had 10 families registered for registration. 6 families attended, and one of whom who did not attend did share with us that they are not yet residents and they are not sure if they would be attending. We've only, this was an email from last week, we've only received one registration packet as of this email.
But when are the registrations due?
They're
Like into
rolling.
June, that's a long
Yeah,
time.
they're rolling. Obviously, we shared with the families at registration, or excuse me, at orientation that, we have not yet, but we would lottery if we arrived at that. So, and we should go.
Is there a minimum class size that we would accept?
Would be up to Board of Education, I believe.
Okay, anything else?
One question. The field trips, are we leaving that or killing that?
So we agreed to cut them to half.
Cut it in, I'm just throwing it out. I'm going through my old notes and I know
If it's not, oh, they're on here.
it's
on here.
7,
To reduce in half, yeah.
are we leaving it like that?
It was 10,000, so it's
Well,
gonna be
we
around 5.
resurrected, well, I asked,
6.
we're resurrecting the guest speaker, so are we resurrecting the field
Oh, I
trips?
see. If we had to choose between guest speakers or field trips?
Yeah,
If you had to choose,
You could do fun little local field trips. I know they just went on one today that probably wasn't very expensive.
but were they on a bus?
they were.
If they were on a
They
bus, it's gonna,
Yeah. I know that's not free, but like, I don't know if like our half, can you do like reasonable field trips for half the cost, Jenna? I mean, I know you probably can't go do the big ones, but can you do like local ones?
Yeah, so, anyone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe a lot of the costs that we, face is due to transportation when it comes to field trips.
Always the transportation.
Of course, driver, gas, idle time, they're paid. But I would say that dependent on the number, I don't know if it's off the top of my head, our smaller bus that we have here. But we always look at that as a first option, depending on the number of students attending.
Well, and today there was a joint field trip, right, with K and first, or first and second? And so I think, I heard that went really well, and I don't know if that's an option for the
Yeah, I
future.
got great feedback from teachers and students, and they said that was fantastic. They attended nature museum. They went together, and the museum actually, worked with us to make a curriculum that fit both first and second graders today.
So there's ways they could still have good opportunities and like deal with the transportation needs, maybe by putting classes together.
okay, no, I'm just asking because that cut in half is almost the cost of what the guest speakers would cost. So this is $500 a class. Just throwing it out there.
No, I hear
If
you.
anyone
Yeah,
has
yeah,
any,
that's what this is about.
Jenna, you have to pick
That's
one.
what
Would
this
you
is about.
Fully fund field trips or guest speakers? You're the expert, tell us.
Of course, both are beneficial in their own way. But as we're turning over every stone, I think, we find ways to collaborate on both. So we had, Jared Campbell came, I know this is not the answer that you want, but we had Jared Campbell come, who, we split up the PTO generously donated half of that cost, right? And then today we wanted a shared field trip. We've gone on 3, 4, 5 field trips in GGM, 2, 3. So we had a field trip that actually came to us for pre-KK, as we don't put pre-K on the bus. So, there's different ways to collaborate in each.
I'll put you on the spot. That was a good answer.
What was the final number we arrived at for conferences? That $48,000 budget line?
that's not on this list, Bonnie.
Okay, but do we have a final figure how much we pared it back by?
No, that's one of the BOCES calls that we've been playing back and forth with. That's the professional development.
Oh, that's one of the lines under consideration, Bonnie.
Yeah.
It's still unknown.
So we might get a little bit of money from that.
Possibly.
So we have a couple more pots of money maybe to come in.
Right. Well, hopefully tonight we can agree on a budget and start marketing it, because I think that's the critical thing. We have to,
Going to be very
Well,
important.
we've got to start moving forward.
Are we done going through this?
So we're gonna leave these both as is.
I think so, right?
Okay. The only other item I had on here was the $1,000 for water.
And again, we can always like I said, do budget transfers in the future, continue to look for savings. That's not off the table, but I think at this point, we should really focus now on getting the budget passed.
Do you want to discuss the
You
$1,000
want to talk
water?
to the $1,000 water?
I think it should be removed.
Goodbye.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that one.
All right, so that,
Economizing move and
Yep.
period of economizing.
all
We have
right.
water fountains, change the filters.
So we can add the water removal to the budget, please, too. Thank you. Bonnie, do you want to weigh in?
We had a consensus already, okay. All right, so,
Susan and Jean-Michel want to weigh in on the water?
It's fine either way.
Either way.
It's $1,000.
any other items to discuss? So as Will said, this was a long, drawn-out, arduous, hard process. We didn't always agree on where to cut, where to save, et cetera. But can we all agree that we, as Will described it, looked under every stone and rock for every possible cut, even though we didn't make every possible cut, considering program and other vagaries about those? Do we agree that we looked at every possible item and actively discussed it? Anybody, and I'm looking at you first, but does everyone agree that?
Can I ask what the resolution was with the Safe School Ambassadors?
We left that in.
Being cut, but there's some hope that we will find money to preserve these programs.
So there's,
Through-
we had
through
two advisors,
outstanding
we cut one.
negotiations. Yeah. So we're cutting one in order to maintain budget. Everything is in theory out, but there's some money that might save those because all of those programs together is
20.
about $21,000. That's all this student facing clubs and
So they are coming out? They're staying in the cuts?
And I think they're staying in the cuts with the idea that if they, I mean, this is my understanding, they're staying in the cuts, and if more money is found, we will resurrect those items.
Well, we'll discuss resurrecting them, but that would be, but we're done with the budget proposals
No.
as is. So as far as the budget's concerned, they're cut. We can add anything back in we want with a budget transfer or the next board, et cetera, but for this budget, all those things are cut. We're done discussing them as of tonight.
If we're cutting the water for the administrators, should we be cutting on these? Because I can get my
Absolutely,
water from home, no
positively.
problem.
We do not need bottled water.
I'm not sure what that
Thank
comes
you.
out of.
Doesn't matter, don't even.
Okay.
Give it to we'll use it for the water fountains until it runs.
Yeah,
All right, so does
get it
everyone agree?
recyclable.
Does everybody agree? I want to have all 6 of you respond that we have discussed every possible cut and nobody wants to talk about anything anymore, so we can put this to bed. Jean-Michel?
I think if the budget is voted down, we'll be back at the table to reassess. So yes,
But
Yes.
you had a fair chance to bring
Yes.
up every cut you thought possible.
for now.
I think we did a good job looking under many rocks. I don't think we've looked under every rock. I think that we would have to do further digging if we had to cut more. I think we did a good job finding what we could to meet where we want to be at this point.
Bonnie, do you want to chime in or not? It's up to you.
No, I agree with what Chris just said. I think that we have done our due diligence. There may be other areas that we haven't had a chance, just haven't realized that there might be something else to look at. I don't know what that could be. We've asked many times, and I think that Walter and Jeff have, tried to inform us of as many areas as they could. So I'm glad that we've come to where we are. I'm glad that we're still talking, and I agree with what's been said by the other members of the board.
Gary, sorry.
Yes.
I to me, just strategically, if the budget gets voted down, we will find ways to cut even more. So yes, there's always more you can cut for sure.
But I said we made our cuts based on
For now, strategically, I think
programs
this
and
is
other
appropriate.
considerations, right?
Yes.
Bronwyn, if you want to add anything?
No, this has been a laborious and at times tortured process, and I don't think it's possible for anybody to say they've done everything they could do, but I think we've tried our best, and Now we see.
Jeff, do you want anything? It's up to you as well. You can chime in if you want.
Yes, obviously this has been a painful process, but I think that it's a good tax rate. I like the fact that we're getting the budget to a point of long range stability and sustainability. The appropriated fund balance is being brought down significantly. I think within a year or two that we'll have a balanced budget. And, I think we need to develop 5-year plans once we get more information. But I think we're ready to start selling the budget. I think it's a solid budget.
And just to clarify, our reliance on the fund balance is going down, not the fund balance itself.
That's
The fund
correct.
balance is going up.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. I also, just remind me before we end tonight, I want to give you an update on capital projects.
Can we just,
Nope, as I
it's
said,
a-
remind me before the end of the night.
I will, Susan?
No, I agree that this has been a challenging process. I think that we've all had the opportunity to give feedback multiple times, as well as the public. So I feel like I've had the opportunity to say how I feel, and I hope that the public feels the same, that they've had the opportunity. Because we've had several meetings on this. And it's been difficult, like I said. But I'm ready to move to the next step.
Yep, I think we've pretty much covered everything we possibly could at this point, and we've brought a lot of things up into light, and we've done a pretty incredible job as far as I'm concerned. So, and I agree with Mr. White there. I don't think you can get a better tax rate out of this district. It's more than fair, and if you look over, our historical average here, especially when compared to inflation, we're in a really amazing place as a district, especially when it comes to taxes. So I certainly hope the taxpayers are happy with this one.
I was at the Oxbow meeting last night, and we all went around the table, each board member from all the districts around Orange County, and we shared on what our budgeting experience has been. And to hear all the other districts talking about how they're going up, they're all increasing their tax rate from last year, I felt pretty good about where we were at.
Just, we've had a couple of little tidbits of information, some data points come in, and I'm sure they'll see it in the budget newsletter. But, for Tuxedo, our tax rate on our taxes on a $500,000 home for 25-26 were $4,500. For Monroe, that same house would be $8,200. For Chester, it would be $7,600. Warwick, $500,000 home, $8,400. So going down the line, Goshen, Warwick, here's another one, Goshen, $7,000. So Jeff and Walter, thank you for giving us this information. We're going to try and get this out to the public. We're really, we're trying to do an awful lot with a little at this point, and we're, our teachers have made this happen, and onward and upward, guys.
Can I ask a question
Sure.
before we close this?
Yep.
Has anyone received any updated?
Sorry to speak, I can't hear you.
Has anyone received an update on the enrollment projections from Lennar? 2022 Tuxedo Farms figures. That
Yeah, we got some figures that were 8 years old, I think, from Lennar, 2 different sets that the administration provided us. That was,
Well, at least one was from 2022.
Right.
well,
That's
one was
4
older,
years
but they were both in the 300 and teens, and
377.
the higher one was 377. So
No updated.
Not yet. No, when we do an updated demographic study, we'll revisit those.
that might take a year. That's not something we're gonna have in days or weeks. That's
And if we get a budget, we'll have some money to do that with.
all right.
Yeah, let's get our budget passed.
I just want to give an update on capital projects when
Not
you're
yet.
ready. When you're ready.
Not yet.
When you're ready.
So as we close out the budget process, I want to thank my fellow board members, the admin and staff for the incessant request for information, for them coming to all the meetings, also for the teachers for their participation, for the public for their participation. So thank you, everybody, for all the work we've done, and we'll start getting some press out as to the budget because it is a very good budget. So thank you all.
Is this as is? Did we change anything on this that we're voting on?
We changed budget lines. We can't change the budget rate
So what
or the,
budget lines, did we just change line 18?
I think so.
That's the only one?
Yep. And we're waiting. It wouldn't be part of the budget officially, but we could refund things at a later date, but that would be budget line adjustments.
Are we sure, Will, are you sure you want to stick with that, with line 18?
What did we do with that?
That's the tech teacher. We defunded that line.
I don't remember that. We did?
No, I did not want to, you know,
I thought it would.
yeah, I thought it was going to mess up the STEM,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I was
we
not,
didn't- We didn't. defund
I was
it.
not, I am a negative on that.
All right, so we
Yeah.
didn't change
That's
anything.
correct, yes. So,
All right. Mr. White, one more information, please.
Yes, we're going to be putting something out to the staff and the community. The capital projects are moving forward. The long-awaited security vestibules, the work is going to begin. Would have liked to have started it in the summer, but we were told, because this thing has been delayed a bit, that it's now or never. So they're going to be starting work at GGM on May 4th. They'll be putting up some temporary walls in the front. So we're going to be laying out a new entrance for people to go into. They're going to start work 3:15 and end at 11:30 at night. It'll be internal work, so there won't be any disturbances in the community. So that's May 4th. And we'll be laying that out. We'll be putting something out in the community, and we'll tell the staff. GFB, May 11th. You probably noticed the stair tower and scaffolding have been installed by the general contractor to commence construction of the GFB cupola and clock tower restoration. So GFB is going to start around May 11th. So the project is going to continue until early August. And at that point, we'll have hopefully a complete. It's construction, so if it gets delayed, we've got long lead times on certain items. The projectile-proof glass and doors. So you have no control over that, but it's projected to be completed by early summer. So just wanted to give the board a heads up about that before we put something out to the staff and the community. That's going to be forthcoming.
Jeff,
Thank
can you
you.
please put that on the website when you
Yes,
come out?
yeah,
with
we're going to let everybody know about it. Yep.
All right. Is there any other business before this board tonight? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, everybody.